Welcome to the Program Logic Model chapter of Stream's Program Evaluation Workbook. My name is Dr. Randy Duncan, and I will be speaking about how goals and objectives are used within a logic model to help clarify how your programs are designed to benefit your clients. If you are using this workbook, it would be safe to say that you want to know how well one of your programs or services is contributing to client improvement. As valuable as the expert knowledge that you and your fellow frontline workers have on how your program works and could be improved, your managers, decision makers, and policymakers will require documented evidence as opposed to anecdotal evidence to judge how well your program or service is performing. The professional program evaluator that you will eventually be working with will help you collect and analyze information on your program in a way that managers and policymakers will appreciate and understand. For example, I've often heard the following types of comments to describe how clients are improving. It's hard to explain exactly, but I know our clients are better at the end of our treatment program. What fits better with documented evidence, we have been able to show, based on a pre- and post-test of behavioral functioning, that clients have less mood and anxiety issues at the end of our treatment program. It may be helpful to think of a logic model as a step-by-step explanation of how your activities and services lead to client improvement. Ideally, a program logic model should be able to explain how your activities contribute to client improvement in a language that will make sense to someone who does not know anything about your program. Why use a program logic model? Primarily to focus your program evaluation. This means reaching some consensus with your colleagues on what evidence points towards client improvement and how to go about assessing it in a practical way. Program evaluation can be a confusing process to the uninitiated. We have found that it is much better to approach the process in a logical way that connects the program intentions with your program or service activities and how they are meant to benefit your clients. It can be useful to think about this logic process by coming up with one or more key questions that you want to answer about your program. For example, to what extent does the life skills training we provide clients help prevent future behavioral problems? Let's start with a quick grammar lesson to help you avoid running into trouble when you write your goals and objectives. Here are 5 phrases that should never appear in your goal or objective statements or in a program evaluation report in general. Using any of these terms will not be helpful in focusing your evaluation with a logic model. Now then, on a more serious note, you should identify a goal of your program that is related to your key question. For example, your goal could be to improve functioning for children, youth, and their families. As you can see, we have already narrowed the focus of the evaluation by limiting our assessment to the services offered to children and youth rather than adult clients. Identifying a target group of clients at the goal-setting stage is important when logically connecting your program or service goals with your activities. With the goal in mind, the next step will be identifying an objective that is even more specific and that will help you to focus on the intended program or service outcome. For example, the objective could be to improve the pro-social life skills of clients in 6 clinical sessions. As you can see, your objective needs to be more specific than your goal. This objective statement identifies what your program or service is meant to provide: life skills training, as well as the length of time for the service to be provided, within 6 clinical sessions. So let's take a look at what we have so far and see if things are connected in a sensible and reasonable manner. As you can see, we have definitely gained some focus on answering the key question by restricting our assessment to child and youth clients and determining that the length of your program or service delivery will be 6 clinical sessions. This little exercise puts you in a good position to take the logic model to the next step of identifying how we would logically examine the evidence for improved client functioning at the end of 6 clinical sessions. At this point, your experience with your own program or service and your activities will put you in a position of being able to say, I believe this is how we should be documenting the evidence of client change in a meaningful way.